Shortly after 8:30 this morning, we responded to a stabbing here in Wellesley Road, Croydon. Our officers were on scene within 2 minutes of the call being received. They provided emergency first aid along with paramedics from the London Ambulance Service and the London Air Ambulance. Sadly, despite their efforts, a 15-year-old girl died at the scene.
Absolutely devastating that another young life has been taken. And I think as a woman, equally, the fact that it was a female life that was taken in such a tragic way.
In 2021, Croydon was labelled the knife crime capital of London because 5 young people were killed by a knife crime. 2022, 0 deaths, so it looked like Croydon had managed to get a grip of the issue. Are you worried now that this could be a return to the dark days of 2 years ago?
I was never worried. I didn't ever think that we had a grip on it. You may have a lull in something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have the mastery of that thing. And knife crime is not anything that can be solved necessarily singularly by better engagement, more youth provision. All those things help. But this is actually a societal problem. And until we are taking a societal lens to look at it, to solve it, we will always have lulls, and then we will have lapses, and then we have, as we've had today, and we had one a couple of weeks ago, things start to pick up.
How bad is the problem of knife crime in this area?
Very bad, and it seems like nothing's being done about it. Everyone wants to talk, but no one wants to do anything.
What do you want to see now that would make you feel safer in this area?
Bag searches in all schools, something to stop people being able to hide their identity. Like, I know a lot of people wear masks and stuff, so cut that out completely so you can at least know who the person is.
She was on her way to school with her friends.
On her way to school, and without going into too much detail because we can't influence the police investigation, but an argument ensued, and this young man pulled out a bladed article, they believe, from his pocket and stabbed this young girl, 15-year-old girl, repeatedly.
I mean, how are the family coping with everything?
Absolutely devastated. The screams and the crying that we heard this morning, community members devastated, the police were in tears, the grassroots organisations that have been doing tireless work, everybody's broken by it. Croydon was known as the knife crime capital of London. 2021 we had 5 teenage murders in our borough, and now we're in a position where we've gone 22 months without no teenage murder. And the biggest shock is that, one, it was a young girl who's from a really good home, a really good background, who's now lost her life, and her life is now extinct due to this terrible epidemic of knife crime.
The amount of violence, the level of violence that is just open in society wasn't present when I was a child. The games, just the way that society is just a lot angrier, especially since lockdown. All of these things, yes, there's the deprivation and the poverty and all of those things, but singularly those things don't stand out. But together, the context is very strong, it's very compelling. Why would children carry knives? Why do they feel that they need to carry a knife in order to feel safe? For certain of us, that would be like an oddity. But that's how they feel. So what is it about society and the way young people feel, exposed in society, that they need to carry a weapon to feel safe? Those are the questions that we as the adults must sit down and look at, rather than pointing fingers. I'm not saying anybody has, but this is not the fault of the children. The children are growing up in the environments that we, the adults, cast. What about the environments that we are casting makes them feel so unsafe?
This is every parent's worst nightmare, and I know the officers who responded this morning, along with our emergency service colleagues, are devastated at the victim's death. This is an emotion I share, and I know people across Croydon will be feeling the same. The victim's family has been informed, and our thoughts are with them at what must be an incredibly difficult time. We carried out urgent inquiries to find the suspect, and within 75 minutes of the incident happening, a 17-year-old boy was arrested in New Addington. He remains in custody and will be questioned by detectives. We remain in the early stages of our investigation. However, based on what we know so far, we believe that we are not looking for anyone else in connection with this offence.
To the police here in Croydon, they Met know they have a really good team. We are very lucky we have a learning borough commander, so this is not a man who is knee-jerk reactions. He takes counsel, he listens to the community, so we are blessed. As far as the Mayor of London is concerned, throwing funding, I suppose, at things is not enough. We need to have a bigger conversation. I'm not saying that Sadiq hasn't done those things, but maybe we need to revisit that. That was during lockdown. We might need to revisit those conversations. What are the factors that contribute to this? Are we giving the funding to the right places? Is this something that actually should be a study of some sort rather than just giving out funding It's a societal problem. Why are we not looking at it through a societal lens?